Okay, good afternoon and welcome to Iyun to lean on for Simon Sadi Vav, number 96 in Hilchos Orachayim. It says, Shiyimna kol atirdos k'dei sheichave, and you shouldn't be holding things which cause you not to have the proper kavanah during tefillah. And the Gemara in Brachos mentions you shouldn't hold tefillin in your hand, not wearing it around your arm, holding it in your hand, and not a Sefer Torah. It might drop. And the Gemara in Sukkah adds, you shouldn't hold a knife, sharp knife. You shouldn't hold money, a loaf of bread, a full pot of soup, because it's dangerous if these things fall. A knife could fall, hot soup could fall on somebody, because you're nervous about them dropping. If you're nervous about them dropping, you can't have the proper kavanah during tefillah. And then it says, lulav bismana. The Gemara does say that in Misachas Sukkah, that lulav on Sukkot you could hold. Right, the minhag of some people is to actually hold your lulav while you're davening Shemona Esrei. We don't do this nowadays, but you could because a mitzvah doesn't bother him. Now, from the first six cases, I would say only those things are a problem. Everything else, there's a lot of other things besides these six things, right? Your phone, a tissue, and a baseball, a basketball, I don't know, anything, Um, it seems that would be okay to hold, but the Seifa says only a lulav, it's a mitzvah, and in Halacha Beis also, the Shulchan Aruch says a machzor or sitter you could hold because it's a mitzvah, so it's not matter to you. It sounds like anything else would cost you tirda. So what's the halacha? It sounds like a Gemara, right? From the Reisha, you think, right, everything else is okay. From the Seifa, you think only a mitzvah is okay. So what about everything else? The Avar Shus, things, anything that are not one of the six things, or not a lulav, or not a sitter. I like to suggest that really the Reisha is dafka, because the Reisha is what the Gemara says. The Gemara says six things. So obviously, if it's not one of these six things, it's okay. If you're holding a baseball in your hand, now it might you're not so worried if the baseball drops. Nothing's gonna happen to the baseball, right? If you have a stress ball in your hand, nothing's gonna happen to the stress ball if it drops on the floor. Things that you're not nervous about dropping, so it's not gonna ruin your kavanah. Um, the reason, so then the question is, so why does the Gemara say lulav? Lulav you're allowed to hold because it's a mitzvah. It sounds like anything that's not a mitzvah you're not allowed to hold. It's going to ruin your kavanah. The reason that you're allowed to hold a lulav is because a lulav also, it's significant if you drop it. If you drop it, you could pass the lulav. There's very specific halachas about the top two leaves, the tiyomid of the lulav. If it's split a little bit, if it's split like a hymnik, we'll learn in sukkah. It's split. It's coming up sukkah soon. If it's split like a field goal, then it passes the lulav, and even if it splits a tefach, then it can pass even if it's not like a field goal. So your lulav could become pasul. That's what the chiddush of the Gemara. The Gemara is saying, afal pikin, you might be nervous. No, you're so satisfied that you're doing a mitzvah, because the mitzvah of lulav, al netilas lulav, is to hold the lulav, not just to pick it up once. The more you hold it, the more mitzvahs you get. If you can assume that you can get more mitzvahs, so I'll have to talk about that some other time. But it's a mitzvah to hold it, and that's not matrid you. And the same thing with a siddur. The siddur is not in the Gemara. The Trumas Hadeshin brings, right? I don't think a siddur is a chiddush, because maybe also because you might be nervous to drop it like a Sefer Torah. But I don't think it's terrible to drop a siddur. I think it's just like anything else. Anything else you could hold in your hand, because only things are going to make you nervous if they fall. It's dangerous if they fall. A knife falls, a hot pot of soup falls. Dangerous, or a tefillin fall is a big disgrace. You can't let your tefillin fall on a Sefer Torah on the floor. It's terrible. The fast 40 days for that. So those are things which are really significant if they fall. So it makes you nervous. You can't have kavanah. But otherwise, having anything in your hand, your phone in your hand, or the Ramah makes such a big deal that if you want to take a siddur and you didn't start davening Shemona Esrei with a siddur in your hand, you have to have it in a place where you know where it is. You can't go searching around with your hand for your siddur. I don't think that's such a problem. It's going to help you with your kavanah. You're allowed to stop your Shemona Esrei in order to have kavanah later on. I don't think you have to be so worried about these things. And similarly, if you had something else, a stress ball in your hand, right, your phone in your hand, right, it's not making your kavanah better. It's not making your kavanah worse. You don't have to. I don't think kavanah every second of the tefillah. I think that's a misconception. I think the point of kavanah and tefillah, like I mentioned many times, is just a general kavanah that you should gather your thoughts. Don't look at the trees. Just look at the forest and see what your strengths are, what your talents are, and how you can go forward and use those strengths and talents to make the best out of your life. Hope you enjoyed today's share. See you in the next one.